What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is the unofficial restart of the Rhino Ranch entrance project. And I say unofficial, well, I'll explain that in a little bit. But let's head down to the entrance. My form setters have just shown up and I'll walk you guys through all of this in like 2.2 seconds. Alrighty guys, so let's walk you through what is going to be happening over here. If you guys hearken way back, I think at this point, 2 years ago, man, that might actually be longer, I don't even know. We started the Rhino Ranch entrance project. Well, we call it the cartel entrance, the drug dealer entrance, whatever you want to call it. I mean, my goal was like anybody driving by is like, man, like there's got to be a drug dealer living there. And well, apparently it worked because that caused one neighbor to complain about me putting my entrance in and reported me to the city. The city came out and was like, yeah, everything you're doing is fine, but you're running electrical. You don't need a permit for flat work. Now, the reason we started this whole thing is because, well, this is the old driveway right here behind me. And while this worked, and this has been here forever, we got some rock walls on both sides. This entrance is cool, but it's a very small, narrow entrance. So when you're trying to bring big trailers in here, like my 24-foot deck over is about the max you're gonna make. And you have to really ride this berm right here on the neighbor's side to try to make this turn without clipping one of these walls. We did talk about just cutting those walls back. We talked about doing a bunch of different things, but at that point, you know, money was good, concrete was cheap, and I was like, screw it, let's just build a big old massive entrance that we never have to worry about bringing trucks and trailers and stuff in here, which was just gonna be a single gate, nice big wide entrance. And then me and Papa Rhino got to talking. Papa Rhino's like, well, why do one gate when you can do two gates? And I'm like, well, I mean, the man's got a point there. Let's do an in and out gate. So we have your entrance gate and we have your exit gate. Is it really necessary? No, but does it like kind of fit the scale of the property and the grandness of the property? Yeah, so I like it. You can't just put a dinky entrance on here on a big old property like this. So that's how we got to this point. So we did our first big pour, which was 4 truckloads. I don't remember the exact yardage. I believe it was 4 full trucks. So you're about 30 something yards of concrete. We have a giant footing right there on the end because I don't want heavy trucks making the transition from the dirt road to the concrete, putting all that stress right there on the edge. So that's about almost 2 foot deep by 16 inches wide all the way along the edge there. So that ate up a lot of concrete. We just did a standard broom finish down there because that is like the approach. And then up here, we did a sand finish, which you can kind of see the difference there. It exposes just a little bit of the sand in the concrete. Then we came back and, well, you can see stuff growing in it, but, and we saw cut in a diamond pattern into the concrete. And there was all kinds of hiccups with that first pour. It was like 100 and something degrees that day. They sent us out. There was supposed to be 4 trucks back to back to back to back. You guys don't know, when you order concrete, you can basically set the time in between the trucks, right? So if you have something very difficult to pour, you want to space the trucks out a little more so you don't have trucks just sitting there waiting. Concrete's going off in the truck as you're trying to unload other trucks. Well, out here, it's just wide open. We're pumping it. We needed the trucks back to back, like damn near bring them all at the same time. And there's no time to round trip. So a lot of times what concrete companies will do is if you're, you know, in town, you're closer to the batch plant, first truck will show up, pour out, and then he goes back to the plant to refill, and then you get the next truck, and eventually, you know, the truck's basically just round trip. Well, out here, we don't have time for that. We're about an hour from the concrete plant, depending on how slow the trucks are driving. So you basically have to send us 4 independent trucks. You can't send one back to refill. So the first pour, we told them that. We told them all of this. What do? They round trip the first truck. Well, actually, the first truck broke down. So the first truck that showed up here, we didn't know it, but that was the second truck. So he was late. So we got the second truck here, we got the third truck here, but was really 1 and 2. It's gonna be super confusing for you guys. And then the third truck that showed up was actually the first truck that had been broken down on the side of the road somewhere. He actually got his truck going again. And so he ended up showing up with some hot mud. Then they told us, because we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and the fourth truck hadn't showed up yet, they're like, oh, no, second guy, he round tripped. So we ended up with a cold joint that is, well, I guess now you can't see it because it's kind of been dirty over there, but there's a line right in the front of my driveway, and like the most important and most seen part, and I was not happy about that. But we don't let stuff like that stop us, so we immediately, as soon as we got that done, we started on all of the columns you see behind me that are going to hold up the gates, as well as the guard checks. We got all the footings poured, we started doing all the block work, got all of that set, and then we got the next pour ready, which is all of the flat work and all the rebar you see behind me, all of the curbs. I mean, obviously you know, doing all the curb work. Like that's a lot of curbing, but we're going for grand, right? We could have just done flat concrete, but then you're gonna have all the dirt washing over it every time it rains out here. So I wanted the curbs to keep everything nice and contained, keeps the concrete clean. But it is a ton of form work, especially when you do radius curbs, which is what we did here. So you can see we have all of we use siding to get our radius formed up here. Well, that was all fine and dandy. Once we got all of that done, we were pretty much ready for the next pour. And then again, that's when one of the neighbors complained, city came out, and we basically got a stop work order and started this whole crazy ordeal. And then in the meantime, concrete prices have shot through the freaking roof. I believe when we did this one, it was about $4,000 worth of concrete down there. I'm thinking this one's gonna be closer to $8,000 worth, and it is almost the exact same amount of concrete as we poured down there. It's gonna be, that's just to give you guys an idea of how crazy concrete prices are. And it's also honestly why I've held off. I mean, if I wouldn't have been stopped by the city, we'd have had concrete all the way up to the house. That's like 800 feet all the way to the house. But concrete prices were reasonable back then. Concrete should not be as crazy as it is, but it is. So on top of the city kind of stopping us, once concrete prices shot through the roof, like my sense of urgency out here dwindled to where it wasn't even worth like dealing with this at this point. City wanted a ton of money and concrete prices were super expensive. So this project has sat for a couple of years. And while we did our best to protect these forms, I mean, they're oiled on the inside. I clear coated the top edge because this is like a, I don't even know what this is. It's like a cardboard-ish pressed material. This stuff swells up though when it gets wet. So I clear coated this edge because this is a raw cut edge. We cut this open. We ripped these down to 5.5 and then 9.5 in the back, give or take. So I tried to protect these as much as I could from water getting in and swelling up. But as you can see, like over here, this stuff swelled up, and then obviously sitting out here getting wet and then getting hot and getting cold, getting hot, getting cold. All of these forms are just all over the map. I mean, there is nothing keeping a smooth radius anymore. The curb is not a consistent 6 inches. Look at right here, we're probably 6 inches where this spacer is, and then over here we are much tighter. Let's see here, let's see if we can get a 6-inch spacer in there. Yeah, just not consistent. And I don't want my curves to look super wavy because that really takes the fun out of having nice curves. Over here where we have this header, where we're going to stop this next pour, you can see, I mean, our freaking nails have pulled out of the stakes. We've got, just nothing lines up anymore. So we've basically got to reset all of the forms out here. And what sucks is, like, I spent a lot of time getting these radiuses dialed in to where this swoop matches the swoop on the other side exactly. I mean, there was a lot of time that went into it. A lot of measurements had to be pulled. We threw the drone up in the air to visually, like, quadruple check that everything looked even. So we're gonna do our best today to not change that while still being able to try to get these forms as straight as we can. The plan was to completely redo all new forms. I don't trust that we're gonna get all of the waviness out of this siding material, which you'll see over here. This is what we use for all of our curved radius stuff instead of masonite because it is thicker. Oh man, I might be able to show you guys better on the other side. Papa Rhino and Abel did a crazy job over here cleaning everything up. It was like one of my lumber storage areas because again, we were like full-fledged working over here. But they've moved everything, stacked everything all nice and neatly. So this is the siding that we use right here. You can see it comes in. I believe those are 16-inch pieces. And then we rip it down. We obviously use the backside. So yeah, it has like the little fake lap siding look to it. But we use the backside because the backside is smooth. It's a composite siding, it's synthetic. Well, I can't find this stuff anymore. We used to get it at Home Depot. I searched all of the Home Depots I could go to, searched Lowe's, searched Dixie Line. Nobody had this stuff in stock. They have a similar stuff, it's like 8 or 9 inches tall, but the backing is like OSB instead of being the smooth composite backing that this stuff is. Papa Rhino's gonna bring some of that up for us today in case we need it. We do have this stuff. It has been kind of protected from the sun and water. You can see this one looks like it's swelled up a little bit. These three look pretty good. So if anything, we're gonna use these for the front of the curb because that's what you're gonna see the most. The backside, we're gonna push a bunch of dirt up against it, so it's not gonna be too noticeable. But yeah, I just don't know where to find this stuff anymore. And the problem with the other stuff being 8 inches is the back of this curb is 9.5 inches. So not like we couldn't finagle some dirt to make up the difference and not let the concrete spill out, but it is much better when this is 9.5 inches instead of 8.5, which would be to there. Because now again, we got to pile up dirt here so the concrete doesn't just spill out of our forms. If any of you guys got any insights onto where to find this stuff anymore, because I have no idea where to get it. I don't know if they discontinued it or if you got a special order, but it used to be an in-stock at Home Depot item. But again, you can see on the back side here, it's smooth. So this is nice for forms because we are gonna pull the front form off while the concrete is wet, and they're gonna finish the front of the curb. But the back side we leave on. So later, if we pull it off, you're gonna see like the OSB imprint, right, of a bunch of little straggling pieces of wood that OSB is, versus smooth, which is what you get when you use this stuff. So I've got our form setter over there today. He is trying to use whatever we can save without having to cut new stuff. I think we're gonna be able to pull it off. Who knows, because I don't wanna do all of this work and something looks super wonky. I'd rather, like, now's the time. This is gonna be a lot of money in this concrete pour to have it look crappy. So if it means we gotta rip everything out and start over, I'd rather do that than spend probably by the time labor, pump, all that stuff. I mean, it's a $10,000 to $12,000 concrete pour. And I get asked quite often about my in and out palm trees. I mean, speaking of in and out entrances, so I've always wanted palm trees like you see at the front of the in and out burger joints where they cross their palm trees. So we put these in, shoot, 2 years ago, I think, and they're actually doing really well. I mean, look how healthy these things are. For being out here off of like a hose sprinkler timer, which is my little setup there, these things have been doing really, really well. The weeds kind of grew in here like crazy, which I thought was gonna hurt these things. And that's kind of one of the other reasons I wanna, like, let's just get this going, is because the weeds just grow out here like crazy. And the amount of time and money I have spent cleaning this up, I mean, you can see that, again, we looked over there at the forms earlier, you can see how much is still in between the forms. We've cleaned this up probably 10 times now, which paying my guys labor, plus us out here, it's just not worth continually having to keep this clean. Now, the reason I call this the unofficial restart is we still don't have the full permit to continue, but certain things don't require permits, right? The flat work doesn't require a permit, so the city has given me the go-ahead to pour all of this. It's just we can't get the guard shack signed off or the column signed off until we have the full permit and they come out, inspect, make sure our rebar's right, which obviously it is. So we can't grout these walls, which is fill them with concrete, until we have that permit. But we can keep going on the concrete work down here. And the reason I want to do that is because we're going to be throwing a big party out here, and a bunch of my friends are going to be bringing their trailers and their motorhomes and all of that to come stay out at the ranch. And well, we have a size limit if we have the old entrance, whereas if we have the new entrance, at least to where you can get past all of this rebar, you can bring any size trailer motorhome you want. You'll have to come in the exit because we got to deal with this tree right here, but you'll have to come in at the exit, and then we'll have to grade out right here because it's kind of got a little ramp. So I might do that today, or I might do that, I don't know, we'll figure that out. But we got to bring in a little bit of dirt. Let's see if you guys can kind of tell the height difference here, but we're probably from here to there, probably close to 3 to 4 feet, that we need to kind of make this a little more gradual, which needs to happen anyway, because once we somehow figure out what we're doing back here with concrete, we don't want a big ramp to a big ramp. So we'll get that poured, we'll grade out here, and then I'll probably just take some of this fencing, we'll put in a little temporary gate right here. That way all of our friends can bring in their trailers and their motorhomes and all of that for a big party. It's going back straight, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's because all the dirt.
It pushed it?
When rain push it, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it looks. This one I'm gonna try, and if not, we're gonna cut a new one.
Yeah, I think we got enough. While the form setter is getting all of our forms dialed in, I'm gonna jump in the tractor. We're gonna move some dirt because, again, you can't just have a drop off after the exit side when we have people coming in. We're gonna see him in a minute. We've got Mr. Dedic, aka squarebody_tig on Instagram. He's gonna be driving the dump truck for me and making trips back and forth. I churned up some more dirt from our borrow pit, but I think we're about maxing out what I can take out of that pit without, I mean, we've already gone ridiculously far in that hole, so I should probably either close that hole back up. We'll get this fence opened up. As you guys can see, this stuff has been here for quite a while. We'll open it out this way and you'll just have to, I mean, there's plenty of room for you to squeeze in. We're gonna dump it. Like, obviously we're trying to feather this out. Yeah. I'm gonna move that pallet and then we'll just start dumping there. And are we 9/16? Look at that. Got lucky. All right.
Huh?
Probably have to put that clamp back on. thread's a thread, right?
Yeah.
All right. The other day when me and James were pretending to be farmers, I pulled off my flail mower and I have not attached anything back to the rear of this thing. So I have 0 counterweight in the rear and I need to move a whole pallet of block. This thing hates doing it with any kind of counterweight, let alone none. So you sure about that, buddy?
I'm sure not. I'm sure I'll compensate for it.
Oh yeah, okay. So I gotta hook the hydraulic lines up to you?
I don't know what they're gonna do, but sure.
And yes, guys, as you can probably tell, I found my head mount. Somebody said Ryan's 10mm sockets are his GoPro head mounts, and you guys are absolutely correct. I lose these things like crazy, and they don't make the old ones anymore. So I gotta stop losing the good ones, because I gotta find some that people have on eBay whenever I lose these. Now, this is gonna be really sketchy. This is a whole pallet of block. This tractor does not like this, guys. And really, I gotta go all the way back to the house if I really wanna move it where I do wanna move it. Oh yeah, act heavy. Oh, it's working.
It actually kind of helps.
Is
that actually helping?
I think so. Yeah, dude, you're a great counterweight.
I got to do it.
Oh, we're losing it again. Gotta go back in. Now take them further away, because I'm gonna try and put the whole thing over here. These are just a big old cock block. Alrighty, maybe now we can just
just like that.
See if we can sword and stone this bad boy out of the ground. Oh, yeah.
Really in there. Here's my chance. I was gonna make that.
Oh, here you go. All right, get it, Derek. Wow.
Dude, I got.
Dang, bro. Obviously trying to pick that up was a fail, so we just scooshed it out of the way for now. We'll wait till we get some counterweight on here, which we probably should put if we're going to be loading full buckets of dirt into the dump truck. They're not super heavy, but this thing coming out of my borrow pit, because my borrow pit is like a super steep road down into it, it can get a little bit tippy sometimes.
I want to go browse the...
Trying to go browse Harbor Freight?
I want to go browse the fine establishment known as Harbor Freight. I got a couple things in my mind I want to take a look at.
Fair,
I might buy one or two things.
Alrighty guys, so we put the box scraper back on because yeah, that was no fun. We want to be safe around here, Dedek. And Dedek can't hang off the back of the tractor the whole time we're trying to load dirt.
I'm actually kind of surprised that did help. It was very minor, but it was enough to get that pallet moving.
Fair. Alrighty, so now we're going to head down to the gate. We're going to start pulling the dirt out of our borrow pit, and we'll give you an update on the form setter, but it looks like he's cruising along as well. Okay, with our counterweight on there now, I feel a lot better about pulling this dirt out. So again, I came here earlier before Dedek arrived with the excavator, and I churned up a bunch of dirt, put it in the center of the borrow pit right there. We're going to use the Coyote tractor to load the old F600. If Dedek doesn't hit the back of the box blade there. All right, let's get loaded up. Put her into 4-wheel drive. We're going to put her into first gear. Scoop number 1. It's getting a little sketchy here at the borrow pit. You got to stay on this center road that I built, otherwise you fall like 6 feet to either side, which nobody wants to do that. That wouldn't feel good. The one thing about these tractors is the hydraulics go as fast as the engine RPMs, right? So if you want the bucket and stuff to come up faster, you gotta get harder on the RPMs, but that also means the tractor's moving quicker. So I mean, I guess you could feather the clutch if you really wanted to, but I wish they were independent of each other, so that the bucket can go up faster, but the tractor just moves nice and a slow pace. It is one of the major benefits to a skid steer.
Never learned.
Oh, okay. So you put the clutch in,
Yep.
push the PTO all the way in,
Okay.
let the clutch out, pull that back, it'll dump,
Okay.
and then I'll just throw the PTO back in and then like let it come down.
So.
All right, you're good right there.
Right there?
Yes, sir. There you go. Look at that, man.
I'll pull that down.
That's a proud dad moment right there, buddy. Okay, so we have load number, I think 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that looks like load number 5. It's all that I churned up. It's honestly more truckloads than I thought I had churned up there in the borrow pit. But I think that's enough to do what I would like to do. It's not gonna be the final grade of where the driveway is actually gonna end up. Again, this is just temporary. We'll have to bring in some more dirt, actually get some string lines up and final grade this, but we wanna be able to bring trailers in here pretty comfortably without getting all kinds of wonky. Alrighty guys, form setter is done. He just took off. Show you guys his handiwork here. This one's all nice and reset. Look at the curbs, guys. The curbs are back. They are pretty dang flowy now, instead of having that wonkiness that we got from them getting all weird and bowed. That one's reset. The front planter is reset. Officially up here, ready to pour. So we are going to be getting the concrete scheduled up very shortly. Very shortly. We'll probably end up getting some rain here, you know, based on the old markings in the sky you see back there behind me. Just put my tinfoil hat on for that one. I think we got enough here to ramp us down a little bit. I still have to figure out how this driveway is going to tie into the existing driveway. I have no idea. We just started building this without any plan, obviously, clearly, when we started. I was like, well, the old driveway's there. We can't take that out of commission, so let's build one next to it. And that's how we ended up here. But then going to the house, I don't want to rip out this line of trees, but I also don't want to shift the driveway to this side of the trees. It would probably make more sense if I did, and maybe I should. But then you come like right at the house versus here you're off to the side. I don't know, maybe we should send it down this side. That would probably make a lot of sense, because then we're not trying to have to scooch back over this way to get onto the existing gravel. The boring part is over, at least the boring part for me. That is the material or import, I guess. Now we're gonna do some shaping with the excavator. Again, I like to grade with an excavator. I should have a grading bucket. I don't, but you know, it works out pretty good. I got my best water guy in the game right here. Dump truck driver, water guy. Look at that, look at the sprinkler. Look at that. Can you spritz it out of your mouth? Alrighty, so we'll knock some of this down with the bucket. And this stuff we want to compact really well, so Dedek's gonna be on the water. We already sprayed the piles down a little bit, but we want this super compact because eventually a good bit of this will be the base for the new concrete once we get past this next concrete pour. A little pushing, and then we do a little pulling. Oh, what's happening over there? Snake getting a little out of control?
Yeah, a little bit. In line.
Best water guy I've had all week.
You got another water guy back here?
I fired him. Look at that technique, boy. That's good stuff right there, buddy. That's good stuff. This stuff's got a best compaction, 100% compaction right here.
Yep.
The man is good, what can I say? Okay, okay, okay.
I get you a little up.
Ah, I thought it looked like you fell. back a little bit. Basically pulling our slope a little further back here. Look at that, he even knows to pick the rocks out. Oh, with a beautiful, well, okay. I don't know what happened to my water guy, guys. Now he's out tanning right here. Are you becoming one with the sun?
Listen, man, I forget what they're called every time. The ones that do the sun soaking.
I have no idea.
We talk about this every time.
I don't know. Oh, the butthole tanning people.
Bleacher tanner guy.
Oh, whip it out. Wait, that's for the members only page. Hey guys, I think we've made this transition. It's about as good as it's gonna get. We're not gonna move all of this stuff, so we kind of had to. You all right?
Quiet on set.
Okay. You know, there's gonna be, we got what, 6 inches there with that 2x6. So once they pour this, I don't want to put the dirt up to it yet, but once they pour this, we'll then feather even more, so we're not putting like this, you know, 6-inch drop when people are coming in. And then we'll do what we did over here. I'll show you at the front of the driveway, because you obviously don't want to make the transition from dirt to concrete. You're gonna chip up the edge like crazy. So if you're gonna do it temporarily, the way to do it is like we've got here on this big old wide front, where we actually left the form in and then we just cut all of the stakes flush with the form. So we can still drive here and we can make the transition, but we're not putting all the weight on the corner of that concrete or on the edge where it's going to want to get chipped up, especially carrying rocks from this road and all of that onto here. So instead, the wood takes all of the abuse and preserves the edge. So we'll end up doing the same thing on that backside until we do our next pour, which will continue on and on and on. And 30 more pours later, we'll probably maybe be at the house. What do you think, buddy?
Name?
Rhino Dmax.
Definitely not on. You're actually on the list of not to let in. So, sorry, bud. I'm gonna go ahead and close the gate on you.
You look short in here.
Well, I need like 12 inches of concrete for you, dog.
Okay, fair enough.
Your name's on the list.
So for the guard shack, the floor is actually. Oh, watch out for that big old lizard, man.
Where?
This one down in here.
So you're gonna have like one of those doors, like a little
half
service
door
window, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess a half door would work. Where you just keep.
We don't know. We don't really.
It almost would have been better if this whole thing was like the door was back here. I mean, it's too late, so.
It is too
back
late.
here and like window, because you don't really need to see him leaving.
We thought about that. Then we also couldn't find a door frame that opened the right way because we were in such a hurry to get this done. So the door actually opens towards you instead of this way like it should have.
Yeah.
So you have to stand here, block your window while you greet people.
Okay.
But I think you're the right man for the job.
Okay. Well, I need my office space.
Can we talk about those glasses you're wearing though?
Yeah, man. Heat waves, transitions. Ooh. Oof, almost
fell.
Almost took a tumble there. No? Heat wave transitions, they're honestly the only safety or even sunglasses I even enjoy wearing.
So those are clear when he's inside. Quick transition outside?
Yeah.
You feel safe?
Very safe.
You look
safest I've been.
Where can they get those?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Oh man.
What is it?
HeatWaveVisual.com.
It's the visual that messes me up.
Yeah. What's the code?
Dmaxryno. Obviously.
That's not it.
What is it?
Dmaxryno 10.
10? Oh. Well, first of all, you can get them at HeatWaveVisual.com. Go ahead and use Dmaxryno 10, you know, get that little kickback from me, all right?
Great work, buddy. Great work. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Forgot how tall I made all this stuff.
Dude, you wanted the big...
I want the grand effect, and we got the grand effect.
Yeah, man, it's definitely been an effect for the past, like, 3 years.
The amount of new neighbors I've met, they're like, what are you doing there? And I'm like, well, I started building an entrance a couple years ago. All right, so we were wrapping up after our big squirrel hunt we did the other day, which if you guys are not channel members, we can't show slingshot content on the main channel, so we do it for the members only because it can't be monetized or anything like that.
That's the one.
What you think? So we annihilated a lot of squirrels, and you guys can see that video by signing up to channel membership. I think there's a... What?
He's in there. He's
Is
right
he
in there. Yeah.
Well, then get him, buddy. Go ahead and spear at him.
I don't know if I want to show this on camera.
Nobody's gonna see it. Go ahead. You over here warmongering with these guys? There's no way you got him. There's no way you got it. It's a clean tip. No blood. There's a lot more holes, buddy. You wanna go to start poking holes?
Nah, just bring the slingshots back.
Yeah. So again, we can't show that content. I know a couple of people got like super butthurt that there's even a channel member option. Remember guys, like everything that I do out here is super expensive. You get all the content for free. I don't ask for any money. Yeah, we make a couple bucks on some ads that play, but you know, a little membership helps. If you want to help, cool. If you don't want to help, you don't have to. I'm still going to keep putting out the same amount of videos. There's just certain things that can't be on the main channel that end up on the membership channel, such as me and Dedek out here doing a big squirrel hunt.
Yeah, and there's also other stuff that happens that he just straight up edits out. And even if I talk about it right.
And then that ends up on the membership side.
Yep.
And long form content, like Dedek's entire move. Like I chopped it up so people didn't get bored on the video of Dedek coming back. But if you guys want to see all the content that he filmed over there, we have the whole series of him in Florida. What are you doing?
Making sure he can't use his hole again.
Okay, he's got 70,000 over here.
You know what? Now he's got one less.
Okay. Oh, it looks like the general's already been shot. Did you shoot it?
I didn't. Dude, that's a 22.
Who shot this?
What? Monsters.
That wasn't you.
It honestly might have been.
Did you miss a couple squirrels?
No. That looks intentional. I don't think that was.
That looks very intentional.
Dude, that one though, right there. That one. Why does it look like it's coming from the ground?
It's just
a little ricochet.
Dang, buddy. You shooting that rock? You shooting squirrels on rocks?
No. That had to have been me messing around at some point. Should I go for a door?
Tire.
Quarter panel. It's not gonna stick in a tire. It's not sharp enough.
And it's gonna stick in a door?
I feel like if you got enough like.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
It,
go for the door.
crushed it.
All right.
Yep. All right.
All right. Let's use what's left of this to clean out the box scraper on the tractor. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was never. Oh, there you go.
All right, we'll put it back there when we're done, but let's go clean out the box scraper. Well, it's probably the last time we're gonna have to clean this thing out now that the rainy season's gone. We'll probably not get all of this caca in here clogged up. It does make for good counterweight though. Oh, you bent my thing?
Yeah, let me try to bend it back the other way.
All right, yeah, that's not gonna break off.
Magic trick.
Okay, brought the Mini X back to the house. My Uber has arrived. Ooh, the birds are enjoying living on this door handle. Stuber?
Hey, we got the AC running for you, bud.
Oh God, turn that off. You don't know what's blowing out of that thing.
I've had it running this whole time, so you're good. Whatever it was, it's on.
How you like this old rig?
Yeah, I'm loving it. As long as you know what your RPMs are and your gear shifts.
Yep.
Because there's no synchros in it, which I missed it right there. There we go. See? Yep.
Well, this is my stop. Appreciate you.
You know, man, if you ever need another ride, you call me.
All right.
I'm only about an hour away.
Jeez. Brakes work good.
Yeah, you gotta make sure.
Okay.
You always gotta pump them before you get to your destination, because if you wait, it might be too late.
Damn.